People have got a lot of questions. I think the number one question I've been asked is, do you think this is the competition? And based on our conversation the other day, I said, no, I don't think there's any possible way it could be the competition. You want to
Absolutely not.
you want to answer that question for him as to why it couldn't be?
Okay, the number one reason why it couldn't be the competition is all of us that were in the cast and my backup handler, which was my son, and another gentleman that was there that a guy was handling his dog because he had a broken foot, he had a cast on his foot. We all knew where everybody was at. There's no question there was no vehicles went up or down that road. Because when we crossed the road to go score those other dogs, you could see the road all the way from where we were at. There was, and you know, out there, we was in the middle of nowhere. It was dead silent out there. If there was a vehicle went by, we would have knew it. Yeah, we had dogs treed, but you know, us as coon hunters, there's times where we get places we ain't supposed to be, and you're hustling to get your dog out of there, and you're also listening with the other ear, trying to listen with one ear to the dogs, the other ear to the road, you know.
But you weren't out of bounds this time.
We were not out of bounds. We absolutely have permission to be exactly where my dog was at. 100% full permission. That's where we went to hunt. My dog never even crossed the road or anything where she would have been on somebody else's property. So I've seen a lot of comments about, you know, was it the competition that had your dog killed? You know, was it a mad landowner because y'all were trespassing? And it was none of that. This was pure out. Somebody didn't like the fact that she had been down there treed for probably 35 minutes. By the time we went and scored the other tree between the walking distance and stuff, we were 557 yards when the first gunshot went off. When I looked at my Garmin, when I heard it, I looked at my Garmin instantly. Then I put it, you know, then before I got my Garmin back in its pouch to take off running in her direction, that's when we heard the second shot. It was two shots simultaneously, and then there was nothing. We were close enough to the gravel road. If it would have been somebody in a vehicle, we would have saw them. We were you know, within the 500 yards. She was downhill from where we were at. We would have saw them. There was no vehicle nowhere. So I hope that clears up a lot of things for a lot of people, because, you know, we were not doing anything wrong. We were in a licensed UKC hunting event. We had a valid Missouri Department of Conservation hunting permit. You know, there was nothing sketchy, shady, you know, anybody being outlaws. There was nothing like that.
And that's usually the case. Normally it's not anybody doing anything wrong. But you know, there's keyboard warriors that sit back and they know way more about everything. They haven't talked to anybody about it. They haven't read a story about it. Haven't watched a video, but they're an expert about what happened.